Today we're going to be doing all kinds of big earrings. Big earrings. This is 16 gauge. 16 gauge is great for this. Copper. This is copper. I think it's soft. Who knows? It feels soft. So the only key to this is for every... Oh, these are going to be all different kinds of links in case you didn't read the description. The only key is to make each of the two earrings the same size. So start by like cut off some. How much is that? I don't know. Use your detective science skills to figure this out. Anyway, cut off the same amount. That's the only rule for the next part. Boom. Two pieces that are roughly the same. Now, just grab... Another one is you want to grab tightly and you want to grab from good angles, not to scratch. That's how you scratch. You're going to scratch as you're learning. So if you scratch and mangle the wire, don't cry. Or better yet, cry because your tears will fall into the little cracks and crevices of the scratches and heal them. It's magical. That may or may not be scientifically accurate, but I suggest you try it. So here we have a swirl. See what I did? See how I did that? I used the Fibonacci sequence built into my fingers, and I'm just going to bend this backwards like that. And what do we have? Voila, we have a loop. One other thing to be careful of, you want these to be moderately strong. This is not the strongest. I would like to have something holding that tighter, but they're earrings. They're not going to get pulled too tight because ears tend to hurt when you pull tight. So people are more gentle with earrings than other things like necklaces or bracelets or rings. So this will suffice. Now, if you want them to be able to link anywhere, you want to make sure there's an opening at the top and the bottom so you can get your next link through. Yep, opening there, opening there. All right, we're good. You want to tuck in both sharp edges. I guess that's a lot of rules. Maybe I should write them down for you. Wait, that was from yesterday. Okay. That's rule number 1. Read carefully, please. Okay, so here's our link. That's one link. Now, if you want to make them exactly the same, you're probably being too careful and not having fun. But just to give you a tip for you non-fun people who like to do everything mildly perfect. Oops. See, I just slipped right there. You gotta be careful. One way to do it the same is to line it up on top of the one you just did and trace it as best you can each step of the way as you go. Now granted, you're never going to get it exact, and why would you want to? Because nobody's going to come with a microscope and hold up the two pieces and, you know, well, maybe they wouldn't use a microscope. What would they use? Some kind of little ruler that has tiny little increments and hold up the two pieces and look for imperfections. And if they did that, that would be even awesomer, because it would mean that you're so famous that someone cares. So, but you hold that up like that, and then you can kind of trace it to the same one you just did and make adjustments as needed. However, I find this to be incredibly unfun and unnecessary and time-consuming. I almost said time-wasting. Now, here's another thing you can do, but you don't have to do. When I say you can do, it's fun to do. The earrings will look good when they're not on someone's ears if you do this. But you don't have to, because once they're on someone's ears, no one can see both ears close together enough to really tell. But that thing is, reverse them. Have this one look like the mirror image of this one for every link all the way down. Granted, if you find you messed up and they're facing the same way, just forget about it. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. All right, let's do some more fun links. To get a square link, First of all, I always start by making my loop, so I have like a connector. And then sometimes I'll make the loop on both sides first before I do anything else. But square, you want to use on your needle nose pliers the flat end all the way back here. Careful if you have cutters like I do that you don't cut it, but you want to use this flat part to really get sharp angles. Now, you're going to bend it and it's not going to have a sharp angle. That's a curve. You go back and you squeeze the edges of that angle. And that way you can get a really sharper right angle. See how I'm getting there? Now, don't try to make it perfect again, but that's getting closer to perfect. See what I mean? Okay, but in any case, you can do some fun stuff with this guy. This is where I probably should have made my loop first. Wouldn't it be cool if it could stay 3D like this? Well, there are ways it could, but those are not what we're going to do today because they're a little bit more in depth. So for this guy, bam, smash him. Smash him and smush him. Now why does he look like he's facing the wrong way? Well, you can turn him up like this. Watch this. Ta-da! Now he's facing the right way, supposedly, depending on what you want. If there is a quote-unquote right or wrong. Now, I'm coming in here and making these little connections tighter in different ways like this, or I'm spacing them out evenly as I like. And all these little movements I'm doing, I also want it to stay more flat, so playing with it. These are all movements that, as you get good at it, you'll do it without scratching the wire. But again, if you scratch the wire in the beginning, just practice your best cry and see if your tears will heal it. And if they don't, then put in the comment that you feel misled and betrayed. And this is kind of fun. I started square, and now I'm getting kind of diamondy. So if this connection is a little too weak for you, it's borderline for me. If it was a necklace, no way. But, you know, again, earrings don't take as much of a beating. I still probably would not settle for this. There's several ways. You could put a little jump ring right there. You could put a tiny little wrapping of thinner wire right there. Or the easiest of all is open this up. Now, it's going to be hard if you've already made it too tight. You're going to be struggling and it's going to be a pain. But if it's kind of loose still, open it up and just shove that loop right in there. And then kind of mess with it. Now, does that change the shape? Yeah, a little bit. But as you can see, most of it's still intact. And now that thing is strong as, you know, bam, super strong. Super strong. All right, let's do our next one. Good, now we're legit. Anyway, so back to these guys. Oh, another thing is you kind of want them to be flat, kind of, you know, you don't want them to look a little too messy. Tiny bit messy is okay. All right, it's another link we can do. This is an easy one, but they're all kind of easy, but this one is just fun because you basically go back and forth just by where you grab it in the with the pliers until you run out of space. And it kind of looks like a heartbeat or something one of those machines makes when it's measuring a wavelength or something. I don't know. Now this is not super strong by itself, so let's play with these. Again, be careful you don't scratch if you're going to be doing pinching like this. Gotta see, you don't want it to slip out. Sometimes holding it firmly helps, but it's mostly the angle of your pliers. So it's a little stronger. Now you can hammer these, and that makes them extra stronger. You just want to make sure. I use any kind of hammer. There's jeweler's hammers. Don't spend too much. You can use like a dollar store hammer, a regular carpenter hammer. Just make sure you have metal on the bottom. You have a piece of metal, and so you're not hammering into like your wooden table or on concrete or something, because concrete is going to scratch the wire. The table, you're going to hurt the table. You know, you basically want metal. You want clean, fairly flat, shiny metal on both sides. I bought this cute little teeny tiny anvil. I'd show you, but I don't know where it is. I think it was stolen from some elves. So anyway, I'm just continuing to make these tighter since I'm not going to hammer right now. And this one, I don't like the balance of that, so I think I'm just going to roll this one a little bit and make it a swirl at the end. Because since I'm making up all these rules as I go, I'm just going to break them too when needed. Alright, so that's good. Let's see. Oh, one more thing. When you're linking them, there's two ways to link them. If you have an open loop, you can just open it sideways like any other loop, and you can put in your next part and close it carefully so your sharp end is not sticking out. Always test it. But the problem is, if you do it like this, when it's hanging straight down from the ear, every other link is going to turn sideways, so you're not going to see the beauty of the design. See, I didn't leave enough opening right there. I could do it there, but I'm going to pull this out like that, and I'm going to put it right there. All right, so see this? You want to show this part and this part and this part, but when it hangs from the ear, you're only going to see the beauty of the top and the bottom. Or if it turns, you only see the beauty of the middle. If you want your earrings to spin around and you want them to show fancy stuff from all sides like that, then that's fine. But a way where you can see the beauty of the whole thing at once from any angle is turn each loop a quarter turn like this. Now you should do it before you link them, but whatever. So, see, now I can see both of those. Now this one I need to turn a quarter turn. And voila, now I can see all of them. Now, a time you would not need to do that is if you were going to put a jump ring in between, because the jump ring does the point of what this would be by turning it. Okay, now go have fun!